I'm sharing my screen, and in the screen, I would like to update you on why we started the Graduate Connect. And as a reminder, the Graduate Connect is not necessarily created for the masterclass learners, which are the learners that we teach, and we're going to talk about the masterclass later on. But the Graduate Connect, we had the first session in October of 2025, where we introduced the Graduate Connect. It is basically a platform for graduates, specifically those that concluded their studies and then they are looking to join a clinical trials industry, and those that have joined the clinical trials industry through finding some kind of training that ushered them into the clinical research industry. And the overall objective also aligns with what the masterclass is about, which we'll share later, which is basically a bridging course, which equip people that want to join the clinical research industry with the skills of knowing how to conduct and manage clinical trials. So I just want you to know that this is not about just the masterclass. This is more than just the masterclass. It's for people that wants to join the industry. It's for people that are also in the industry that wants to impart knowledge to others through this platform. I will now take you through the agenda for today. Many of you will have seen the agenda already, which was shared on different platforms. I hope you already seen it, but let's maybe just go through it. I'll share my screen just now. Okay. Okay. Struggling a bit with sharing my screen. Let me just try again. So this is the agenda for today, which I believe you can see. Maybe you can show with the thumbs up if you can see the agenda for today. So I'm going to take you through the welcome, as I've done already, to introduce what the Graduate Connect is. And what is much more interesting today is that we have previous graduates. Fortunately, these are graduates that have attended the master class, and we didn't have enough time to also invite graduates that have been trained in other platforms. So, but in the future, we'll be able to extend our invitation to those so that they can share how they managed to find their way through into the industry. So we were gonna have Offense and Do, Ashley, Yumna, and Ronald. And after, we will then have you'll have myself take you through the clinical research masterclass. And although here we have Offense on top, we're not gonna start with Offense. We'll show you who we're gonna start with, and we're gonna introduce them as as they present themselves to share their experiences. So let me see by a show of hand if my team is there. Yumna, I think I saw you. Ashley, are you there? If you can show with your thumbs up. Um, and then we have Ndu, we have Ronald. I know Offense still needs to get home from work, so she will be a little bit late, but she will let me know once she has arrived. So, Ronald, are you there? Okay, Offense, you're also there. Okay, that's great.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, Ronald is there, Offense is there. And do I think I saw you. Are you there? Is your mic able? Ashley, maybe you can speak up so that we are able to know that your mic is also working. If you can unmute, Ashley, if you can unmute and just say hello so we know that you.
Hi, hi, yes, I'm there. Hi,
All
can you
right.
hear me? Thank
Yes.
you.
And then Yumna, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. So, Offense, you're already here, so there's no need for us to turn around the agenda. So let's just start.
Um,
The time is quite
Hi,
limited.
Vicky, can we please just turn it around? I just got in now, so I'm just trying to settle down.
Okay, that's great then. So Yumna, so we'll start with Yumna. Yumna was part of the clinical our master class, which she completed end of December. And she will speak about her journey from graduating into clinical research master class and securing an internship. She will also reflect on how she navigated early career decision, apply and currently applying a training, and how she finds transitioning into clinical operations role. So Yumna has a qualification in BSc Medical Microbiology. Yumna, you can introduce a bit of about yourself and maybe just share with us. Let's have a conversation about your journey and how you're finding your new transition. I know you recently started now in Jan.
Good evening, everyone. Am I still audible?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Unfortunately, my camera isn't working, so I won't be able to switch it on. But I just want to start off by thanking you, Dr. Nyeleti, and the Afrileadtech team for inviting me to speak. So, as you already introduced, my name is Yumna, and I completed the Afrileadtech School of Clinical Research Master Class last year. And essentially, like you said, I'll be explaining how my experience has shaped my career choices and led me to the current internship I'm in. So I studied a BSc in microbiology from the University of Pretoria. And this story all takes place, I think, back in 2024. I like to always start with the story because to me, it genuinely at the time felt like fate. But my earliest memory of getting into the industry was when I attended the Sakra Gala dinner. Essentially, what that was is an annual event hosted by the South African Clinical Research Association, where professionals from across the clinical research industry came together. Like many other final year students, I was still trying to figure out what life after graduation was supposed to be or look like. And at the time, I knew that I enjoyed science. I knew that I was curious about clinical research, but beyond that, I was very unsure. That evening, several people encouraged me to actually go and introduce myself to Dr. Nyeleti. They told me she was the perfect person to speak to. And I hesitated and I pondered, thinking, maybe I should wait until I have things more figured out to approach and ask questions. But then, completely unexpectedly, she sat down next to me at the table and actually asked me, "Who are you and what do you do?" And that short, unplanned conversation led up to the next year of my life dedicated towards studying at Afrileadtech School of Clinical Research, and it led to a year of growth and understanding and just exploration, I think.
That is really great. So basically, you're telling us the journey of networking here. How did you get to know about the Sakra Gala dinner?
So at the time, like I said, I didn't know much about the industry, but I was following a lot of LinkedIn accounts that had to do with anything related to clinical research. And I actually stumbled upon Sakra quite coincidentally, and I subscribed to their newsletter. And it was through their newsletter that I saw them advertising the gala dinner. At the time, I didn't know that it was meant more so for clinical companies or sites, but I just, in any case, signed up for it and I showed up as one person, and every single person that I went up to introduce myself to that night kept on asking me, "What site are you from? What company do you work for?" And I didn't work for any. And they were quite surprised by that. But I just knew that I wanted to gain some form of a foothold in this industry. I wanted to make an introduction. I wanted to see what it was all about. And that felt like the best place to start. Sorry, Dr. Nyeleti, are you still online?
I think she's just trying to log in again. Just give her a
Okay.
few minutes.
Okay, no problem.
Hi, Yumna. Sorry, my line just cut. I don't know what happened there. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
I don't even remember. I think I got cut off when you were still explaining that you subscribe to the Sakra newsletter.
Yes, I just essentially said that I subscribed to the newsletter, and while it was meant for clinical research professionals already in the industry, I went there as one person, and everyone that I met and spoke to kept on asking me, what site do I belong to? What company am I working for? And I kept on telling them, no, I'm still a final year student. So it was a bit, it was quite fun.
Okay. So I think I also interrupted you. You were supposed to tell us how you also finding this new opportunity. You started in your journey from 2024, and you were explaining how you got into the industry as well.
Yes. So essentially, after I completed, actually, while I was in the process of completing the masterclass, I was already applying and sending emails and getting in contact with a lot of people through LinkedIn, through any means necessary. And after completing the program as a whole, I was fortunate enough to secure an internship at Emanate, which is essentially a clinical research management and networking company. And while I still have a lot to learn, Afrileadtech actually made that transition far less intimidating. For example, now I can recognize industry terminology, I can follow discussions in meetings and understand why processes like SOPs, compliance checks, and documentation exist as a whole. And even though currently I'm not yet doing everything independently, having that context has made it much easier to learn, ask better questions, and just integrate myself into the team in a better way. So Afrileadtech, I feel, helped give me that foundation.
Okay. Thank you. I think yours was like a smooth transition because you completed your degree 2024 and 2025 you enrolled into the clinical research master class, and right after you got the opportunity for internship.
Yes, it fortunately was everything led up to the other year
Yeah.
after year. So it was, thankfully.
I think that one it's the perfect move that everybody is looking for, but obviously it's not everyone that find that opportunity. And I think then maybe that lead us to our next speaker, Ronald. And Ronald, maybe you can also share a bit of your experience. But what I know is that before you actually take up the training in the clinical research masterclass, you had detoured into another industry which you were also flourishing, but you had to follow your passion and you continued networking and connecting with people so that you can find your way into clinical research. Maybe take us through your story, Ronald.
Thanks so much, Vicky. Just trying to put my camera on. Okay, it's on. Can you hear me, Vicky?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Yeah, I was listening to Yumna and I was envious because I thought, oh my word, it took me so long and it was such a smooth transition. But I guess it speaks to, different parts, and also it speaks to things like resilience, which I see that you noted in your flyer as something that I'm going to speak about. But firstly, thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you everyone for joining. It's really good to be in a space where everyone is aligned and is interested in the clinical research field, I will say that your interest is valid. It is an interesting field to be in. You find yourself in the middle of groundbreaking work, innovations that you didn't know existed. And it really does give you an opportunity to do work that you will find impactful, at least in that field. So in contrast to Yumna, my journey with clinical research started in 2016. That's when I started knowing about clinical research. IQVIA was still called Quintiles at that time. And I didn't have a linear transition into the industry. I did try apply a bit, but what I have seen in hindsight was I did not speak the language of the clinical trials industry. I wasn't thriving in interviews nor in applications because I just lacked the depth that was required to make that transition and to land a post, besides having a qualification that speaks to the industry. I am a qualified biochemist. I have a BSc honors in medical biochemistry, and then I topped it off with a postgrad diploma in public health. So as Vicky mentioned, I worked in education for 8 years. So that's run about the same time from 2016. I was working in education and ended up managing a maths and science tuition center. But I was still interested in finding my way back to clinical research. So then that speaks to the resilience, because if your heart is somewhere, then you need to follow your heart and you need to set a clear path to get there. So this might speak to other professionals in the group who possibly are working in different fields or are already in health, but do want to find their way in clinical research. I would say it does require at times just a resilient spirit to get there. And to speak to that, one of the things that I found to be important was, number one, continuously upskilling yourself and being in the know-how of what is happening in the industry and why is it happening. For example, now we are in GCP revision 3. If you understand the dynamics of that, then that means it will bode well for you when you apply for jobs and when you look at opportunities. I also found that networking helped me a lot. So I met Biki at a social event, and then after that, I then joined Afrilead. And then to speak to people who might have experience or even who don't have experience, it's important to focus on skills that are transferable. And you'll be surprised that there are a lot of skills that you might have or have gained while you're studying that are really important in clinical research. And that's something I would say the masterclass really delivered on, in connecting what you have to what you want to do within the clinical research industry. It also gave the opportunity to understand that apart from being a CTA or being a CRA, there's so many other avenues that you can follow. And that's something I'm also learning, because each and every day is a learning day. So I would speak to that resilience and say, while you prepare to get your role and while you prepare to possibly join the masterclass, just remember that you need to lead with curiosity. Remember that you are your own brand and you need to brand yourself around what you have and what can be transferred to the clinical research industry. And lastly, like what Dr. Biki told me before I started my internship, she said, you need to add value. Are you adding value to what you're doing? So yeah, I think that's just a brief opener to my journey.
That is quite nice. So what compromises did you have to make? Were they worth it? Because I think I get a lot of questions, like lots of people that are already doing other work out there, and they want to get into clinical research industry. And I will inform them that it becomes very hard when you're already experienced and you already earn a salary. So the transition may not be financially feasible, So how did you make that transition? Did you make any compromises?
So I think that's an important thing, and it also might speak to personal situations, but with everything, there is a sacrifice that has to be made. In my case, I had to make a big sacrifice in terms of my salary. I got close to 75% cut in salary to be able to join the clinical research industry. I left a permanent job, got a 75% cut in my salary, and joined as an intern. I was an intern at IQVIA first. I was actually complaining to Becky that she said I'm a CTA at IQVIA. I'm not at IQVIA anymore. I'm at Icon, but that's where I started. I started off as an intern. So it was really scary to do that. But there's one thing I will say. If you are that motivated to try and move ahead, then if you realize that you need to add value, you have to find a way to make yourself stand out and make your work speak for yourself. Then that sacrifice is worth it. So besides having that, massive cut in income, I can safely say I'm 80% back to where I was. So the opportunity to even get back to what you were earning is there. And then the other thing that's also important is when you get into the industry, you then realize that there are so many other things that you can do. So the opportunities are almost limitless. I don't know about everyone else in the group, but I always just knew, clinical trial assistant, clinical research assistant, but there's so many things that you can do. So it's worth the sacrifice. So that was one very big sacrifice on my part, but it was very worth it because now I can see the opportunities for growth, and then also the industry itself does remunerate quite fairly. So yeah.
Yeah. So you've been on it now. I mean, I think you did the masterclass, then you got like a 5 months internship, and then during the end of the internship, then you were offered the opportunity of a permanent position as a CTA at IQVIA, and thereafter you now with Icon, and at some point you have multiple offers.
Thankfully, yes.
Yeah.
I'm very grateful for that. Yes.
And I think this speaks to you having had prior skills, which now you've learned how to transfer them and to also boost your confidence in how you approach work. And I think maybe that's why maybe even your transition is kind of fast-tracked because of the prior skills that you have, and also with the coaching that we offered, you able to then also apply and do well. And I mean, during our mentorship sessions that I sometimes have with learners, I also do identify the key competencies of those learners. And I mean, I'm sorry to say, but Ronald is one of those people that I kept on saying, you will employ me one day. So so I do hope actually it works out that way for you, Ronald, because I really did believe so much in you, because even the masterclass is quite intensive, and you were ready to do everything. You were ready to just immerse yourself in that learning period, and to just take everything in. So I always say, in addition to, are you adding value? Whatever your hands finds to do it with all your might. And I think you actually live up to that verse, if I may call it that way, So
Yeah.
thank you so much, Ronald. I'm sure people will have lots of questions for you later, but
Yeah.
I'll ask people to maybe add their questions on the chat, or they can hold it and then we'll discuss later. I mean, we can spend more time talking about your journey, so that you can inspire others in that have joined today. I mean, we have lots of people that have joined, about 129 people that have joined, that wants to listen to your stories so they can find inspiration. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Vicky. very kind words. And I have to say, just to tie in before we go any further, in as much as one may have transferable skills, I just need to hone in on that. What I did find with the clinical research masterclass is it gave you an opportunity to really understand the processes that happen in clinical trials. And in as much as you might find it elsewhere, it doesn't get as nicely packaged as it was in the research masterclass. You get very acquainted or in tune with what happens within a clinical trial, the documents that move around, the processes that move around as well in a clinical trial. So it really does equip you with that, which is a good foundation, because working in the industry itself, it's very fast paced. A lot of things change at any moment. So it's good to have that basis. And I would say this is the right platform to get insights into that to anyone else who's listening and who's hoping to be in the industry. So thank you for that, Vicky.
Thank you very much. And we do appreciate the feedback, because we took time to come up with this training, and we really wanted to achieve what we had planned for it. So thank you for that. So maybe we can move to Ashley. I think Ashley's story is also very much interesting. She can share her experience, because I mean, maybe you don't need to necessarily start with a master class, but start with your journey when you then found an opportunity for an internship after your master class. You actually was an intern at Sichaba for 8 months, but after that, the internship didn't translate to an employment opportunity. So what are you doing currently, Ashley? How do you feel currently? What do you want to share with the group? What do you hope what do you hope will be your next move?
Hi, Dr. Nyeleti, and hi, everyone. I'm still working at Sichaba, but then I'm coming to the end of my internship this January. So I'm just gonna share my slide because I had prepared slides.
Okay, that's great.
Can you confirm if you're able to see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, this is just an introduction. My name is Eshtimatlo, and I am a clinical research master class graduate from the May 2024 cohort, and I did a BSc in Life Sciences degree from University of Limpopo, and I've majored with physiology and biochemistry. And I'm currently working as a clinical research intern at Sichaba Research Center. Then on the next slide is my story, or how I got into the clinical research. After completing my degree, I had to do my own research. I had to know what careers can I get into with my degree, and that's how I got to got to know of clinical research. I then did my LinkedIn account, and that is where I came across the Afrileadtech School of Clinical Research. I then joined the master class, and after completing the master class, I got placement at Sichaba Research Center. During my internship, these are the milestones that I have achieved. So initially, the internship was 10 months, and we were supposed to rotate across different departments. So on the first month of the internship, I was at the participant engagement team, and then at 1 month and a week, we were asked to move to the study coordination department prematurely to assist with the preparation of the FDA inspection for the twice yearly injection known as lenacapavir, now SAPRA approved. So we were helping with the preparation of the inspection for the study. It was a learning journey. I got to see the practical exposure of how trials are conducted and how the medicine is researched on human participant. And during the time when we were still assisting, it was then discussed that we stay in the department, the study coordination department, for the duration of the internship. And because this was the section that I was mostly interested in, I was happy to stay in the department. Then we had to post the rotation and we moved to the study coordination department, and I was then assigned to support a phase 3 TB vaccine study. And at month 6, that was when a lot of sites were affected by the US funds cut, and then the primary SC for the TB study had to leave as well. So that was when I stepped in and I had to coordinate the study, which was an anchor study with 500 participants. So even though I am still an intern, I'm working as the main SC on the study. And I'll also assigned to support a phase 2 TB study. And month 10, it was November. That was when my contract was initially supposed to end, and it was extended by 2 months. And recently, what I've been doing, I'm still coordinating the phase 3 TB vaccine study. I'm still supporting the phase 2 TB study. And I'm also supporting a phase 3 HIV study, which is also a learning curve because I'm learning of study startup. And one of the most meaningful milestones for me has been the support that I got from my manager and my PI. Although I'm still completing my internship and understand that there is no formal decision about me yet, but then their motivation for me to be retained in the department is what keeps me going. So here are the qualities that I have learned or skills that I have obtained. The role that I'm doing has forced me to be a team player, a cross-functional team player, because you'll be coordinating and facilitating different departments, and you also have to be a problem solver, because should there be an issue with your study, you are the first point of contact. You have to have attention to details because you're also responsible for maintaining the ISF. So each and every document that you upload, you must make sure that you QC it before you can upload. You must have leadership skills, communication skills as well, because you'll be managing sponsor communication and even communication at site. And now that I'm coming to the end of my internship, what is it that I'm going to do next? So I am open to work within the clinical research industry. I am seeking opportunities to grow and to take in roles such as study coordinator, clinical trial assistant, entry level to mid-level CRO roles. And I have already updated my LinkedIn profile. I'm planning on having a stronger LinkedIn present and to also tailor my CV for each role and reaching out to recruiters. I've already started that as well. And to actively network, to attend clinical research webinars and professional events, just to keep me updated with the industry and to know of industry trends. And I am also interested in pursuing postgraduate diploma in pharmaceutical sciences to support my long-term progression in clinical research. And this marks the end of my presentation. Thank you very much. I'm gonna stop sharing.
Wow, Ashley.
Do you have any questions for me, Dr. Nyeleti?
I am so happy. I'm so happy because of how you ran your presentation and how you basically broke down what you were doing, which gave a lot of insight for the attendees today. And I'm much more
Dr.
excited because
Nyeleti, are you still there?
can you not hear me? Hello, can you hear me, Rujeko?
Yes, I can
Hello?
hear you.
Yeah. Ashley, can you hear me?
Yes, Dr. Nyeleti, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. So I was just saying that I'm much more excited to hear you speak because you know where we come from.
Yeah, I know that very well. I think I have improved from the last time we
You
spoke.
you have not even improved. You are doing so well. So
Thank you so
you are
much.
doing so well. I just enjoy your presentation, how you prepared it, and I mean, it
Mm,
just makes me so happy because I know who else was in your group. Offensa was in your group. Punyuka was also in your group.
yes,
He was
offensive
there,
was in
Joy,
my.
and I don't know if Ronald was also no, Ronald was not in your group. The May group.
No.
Yeah, so the main group knows, eh? We've grown so much. I've grown a lot as a trainer myself, and as a coach and as a
Mm,
mentor. And I'm actually very happy to see the growth that you're presenting to us. Um,
thank you very much.
yeah, and you should have told them that the Linakapa there that you worked on, it's the prep, the twice a year injection. I mean, that is also a groundbreaking research. Like Ronald noted, that is
Yes,
on groundbreaking research. So wow, it's really great that you were part of that. And
thank you.
being a coordinator for like 500 patients, and I think that's what
Mm,
made you grow. You know, sometimes you just need to be thrown into the fire for you to learn. And this
yes,
industry,
and that's how I learned because even though there is a primary SC for the study, but then the LC will be just like, Ashley, I trust you, we can do everything. She's not
yes,
even gonna sit down with you and she just say, if you need any advice, you must come to me, I'll advise you. But then this is your study. We have to coordinate it. And that's how I learned.
I'm so proud of you. I
Thank
do
you.
hope they retain you. I do hope you find another opportunity. And do post on LinkedIn because you said you're gonna keep your presence to show your journey as well.
I'm going to do that.
Yeah, show your journey. Put yourself out there. Wow.
Yes.
I like the fact that you're also using abbreviations. You like ISF here, and the people that are here, majority of them, they don't even know what is an ISF. And I recall in one of our classes, one of your co-learners
Mm.
noted that we use a lot of abbreviations. They just didn't understand anything. And now it's you today, you are using those abbreviations.
Yeah, because at first I also didn't understand, and there were a lot, hey. But then
Mm.
we had to learn. Yeah, and I'm very grateful to the master class because when we first arrived, I wasn't as clueless. And because at side you might find that there are some of the things that we knew and the people who were already working there they didn't know. So that made us stood out.
Mm. Okay.
Mm.
That's really great. Thank you so much. I'm sure there will be lots of questions for you as well, but let's pack the questions. We have Ndu before we move
Thank
to
you.
offense. And I think Ndu's story, it's quite interesting because similar to many graduates, he joined the master class after his qualification, trying to seek what do you call this? It's to seek opportunities, and after that, we just couldn't find a suitable placement for him, for example. Though we do try for all our learners, it also depends on what is available out there. So I thought, you know what, than painting all the beautiful stories, Ndu story is also a great one to share today. So Ndu, what do you have for us?
Good evening, Vicky, and to all the attendees. Thank you for having me today. So, I am a BSc graduate in Human Physiology, Psychology, and Genetics from University of Pretoria. And I actually joined the masterclass in August 2024. I was a part of Ronald's class. I was in the same class as Ronald, and we ended up being in the same group. So yes, after the masterclass, I guess I was undecided to go back to school, further my qualifications, and also to, sorry, they say I sound soft.
Okay, I could hear you clearly.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Yes. After the masterclass, I undecided. I still wanted to go further my qualifications, and sorry, I'm being disturbed. They say I must raise my voice.
Is it the same person or is it multiple people?
It's Ronald.
Where is Ronald? It's the new coach now.
I'm also struggling to hear him.
Okay. So then,
Let me see if I can move. Can you just give me 1 second?
I can hear very clearly.
yeah, that's why I'm like, I also could hear him very well.
Maybe his classmates are used to him shouting, and today they're surprised he's speaking nicely.
That might be very true.
Bo Punyuka, you are still here.
Am I loud now? Am I audible?
You're actually lower now.
Am I chatting? No, I don't know what's going on because it's also raining, so my network is also being affected a bit.
You're actually fine, guys. Can you not hear him? Now I can hear you.
We can hear him.
I can hear you.
I was in back to furthering my studies and also looking for opportunities in clinical research because I would say attending the masterclass was very helpful, very insightful. For me, it was a new experience because I had no idea what was going on. And you see terms like ISF and all of those, they were just
Okay.
very weekly meetings, look at the notes and all of that. And yes, Vicky was very helpful with everything in the masterclass and afterwards because I mean, I guess I stayed in contact with her every 3 months. She'd be like, yes, where are you now? What are you doing? What's the plan? And I would be like, okay, currently going to school. Okay, not now. I'm looking for a job in clinical research. So I was basically playing two sides, undecided. But then I also realized that also having a presence on LinkedIn, looking for opportunities on LinkedIn, connecting with people, also seeing different companies, what they offer in clinical research, because there are multiple positions and you can just make a mark for where you want to be. So I guess Vicky played a big role in being a solid mentor because she told me she was always hopeful. She told me I must not give up. I must continue pursuing and also to tailor my CV to because you can't just use a CV you've had, for example, in 2023 for a position that you're looking for now in 2026. Things are not the same. So you need to enhance your skills, hone your skills, and also tailor to what you want to do. Because also I recently in the research center after I had changed my CV probably 10 times. And that was also with the help of Vicky because she said, no matter what you go through or no matter what's happening, just be persistent with what you want and always make sure that you know all your work from the masterclass. Don't let it go. Don't let all that information that you learned just leave or forget about it. It's always good to go back, refresh, see what you remember, and to see if you can learn something new.
Okay. I think we do have a bit of a challenge with Ndu's line. Ndu, I think it's the rain.
Hello?
I think because of the rain, we do have like a sometimes it cuts, but I think we could get a lot of what you were saying, but it sometimes just freezes.
really sorry because there is a lot of thunder here, so my network is being very affected.
So, but let's see if maybe after offense we can try again, because I do have some questions for you, which I think can help others on how you kept it going. Because I think you complete, like, I mean, you finished the masterclass December 2024, and though you were also undecided, or not necessarily undecided, but looking to further your studies and stuff like that, I just want to know, were you looking for opportunities in clinical research? Were you getting any feedback? Have you gone for any interviews through the year that you were and kind of trying to find your ground? So I think you can talk about that later, because I can see even now you've frozen. So let's move to Offense. Offense,
Hi, Nyeleti.
how are you doing?
I'm breathing. I am breathing.
I like your story because it's a bit different from the speakers that have already spoken here, because you came to the master class after you had been exposed at site space with an opportunity that was linked to clinical research. Then you that opportunity, I think it was also coming to an end, and you joined the master class. And then after the master class, you transitioned to an internship position at Sichaba. And when we're also trying to contract you for other opportunities, you decided Sichaba is better, and they offered you an opportunity and you stayed at Sichaba. So yeah, maybe share your journey, so that you and touch a lot on the lab, what you were doing, because I think with the coordination stuff, Ashley touched on a lot. And maybe you can also share, why do you think Sichaba retained you after internship? Are you that good?
I was trained by the best. I had no choice but to represent. Yeah. So
Yeah.
thanks for the opportunity to come and present for possible new learners. I am Ofense Kekana. I studied BSc in human physiology and biochemistry as an undergrad, and pursued an honors degree in medical sciences and specializing in pharmacology. Um, just like Ronald, I also had to make a compromise. Or to me, it was not even a compromise; it was a sacrifice. I graduated and decided that, you know what, I'm not going to pursue a master's degree, because from the institution where I acquired my degrees, it's known that BSc students, they venture up until master's or PhD. But I knew that I did not want to find myself where I outmarket myself in terms of degrees. Let me just go and venture and find opportunities so that I at least have experience to add to my degrees. um, then how I came across Afrilead, I remember I was supposed to join the first cohort when Nyeleti started. I remember Nyeleti said she was offering bursaries, I think to two students. I don't remember, if you can correct me if I'm wrong. And I jumped in, I said, hey, I'm interested. By the way, I did not even know what clinical research is. I had no idea. I was just taking chances because I was fresh out of varsity. I needed a breather. I knew I wanted to explore something new outside of what I had already started. And fortunately for me, through friendships from varsity, there was a lady who was working at Side Space, and she said, "Hey, they're looking for someone who's gonna assist in the interim." I remember there was short staffed, and they had a lot of studies where they now needed someone that can assist with administrative duties. And I said, "Yeah, well, let's go." And then I joined in, but 2 weeks into the role, I was like, filing is not my thing. I want action, and this is what I learned through clinical research, that sometimes you need the confidence and you need to speak for yourself. You need to open those spaces and room for yourself in case someone doesn't. If you know that you're hardworking and you know that you're willing to sit and learn, do speak to the right people and say, I'm available, you can teach me this, I can explore that. And that's how I got to become a specimen coordinator. At the time, the lab, it's a centralized lab. I was working at a centralized lab. If you guys don't know, you will get to learn the different types of labs we have in clinical research. I was working as a specimen coordinator. The centralized lab I was working for specialized mostly in TB and HIV studies. And at some point, site space is formerly known as Quintiles, so we still performed duties and work for now known as Aquivia. So you can imagine you are working for two companies, meaning that you have a huge responsibility. Upon completing my master class, I remember Nyeleti saying, Offense, why do you want to now transition to sites? You know, you can just continue to be a lab monitor. I was like, Nyeleti, I don't want to work in the lab. I don't even want to monitor a lab. I'm fine. Take me to wherever, just as long as it's not the lab. And fortunate for us, there was an opportunity at Sechaba. Just like Ronald, I had to make a difficult decision of going from having earned a good salary to now joining an internship, which is a downsize in terms of, personal goals and any other thing. And eventually I went and we joined Sechaba. I think Ashley has touched down on quite a lot because we did the same thing. When we got to Sechaba, we were both introduced into the FDA inspection, which was nerve-wracking, and we didn't understand who's FDA and why is everyone scared, But eventually, when you get to masterclass, then you get to learn of all these big authority bodies. And yeah, but much to it, Ashley's transitioned into HIV and TB studies while I work mostly with what we call maternal studies. And at the moment, I'm a coordinator for two studies with other upcoming. Great opportunity. But what I would say is that the masterclass did not only help with building confidence, we also acquired the necessary and relevant information that we needed. But much to it, there's something Becky used to always say during our classes to say, I'm not going to put you out there if you're going to embarrass me. At the end of the day, Nyeleti's name is still on the line. But what I got from that was that she has worked so hard and enough to, set a standard in terms of the quality that she produces. And that is the quality that I wanted for myself. I didn't want to be associated with not completing things in a good quality manner. And I think that is what maybe might have also helped me attain and get absorbed as a study coordinator. We were competing with people who already had more than 3 to 5 years experience as study coordination. It was tough, but you learn to put yourself out there, to stand for your work, because if the one thing with the masterclass is you learn to stand up for yourself. The greatest lesson also with masterclass is that you need to also have an open mind to find more information to pertaining to what you're learning. It's 4 months, you might think it's a lot, but for the content and how well equipped and prepared the master class is, you will also need to put in the work as well to meet the course somewhere else. Because for the ones that are now graduates, you come in and you hear things about an ISF, you must take it upon yourself to also learn and investigate what could be, and not only rely on Nyeleti to feed you this information, because for much of it, a lot of things are teachable, but you need to take it upon yourself as well to learn and be able to speak in confidence, because the minute you know what you're speaking about, you can confidently sit there and speak for yourself. There was an incident where I had while I was still an intern at Sechaba. I was arguing with the CRE about a protocol, and I know she didn't take it lying down, but it was a great opportunity for the two of us, because she learned that just because you're an intern, it doesn't mean you don't know. I remember Candy 001, we learned, I made sure that I knew that protocol off by heart. And for me, it really equipped me for the real world in clinical research, because that is always the foundation of how we conduct our clinical trials, except aside of our ethics and GCP accreditations. But your protocol is literally your walking Bible. And I'm happy the masterclass equipped us with that, because there's nothing different what you're gonna get out there, except for maybe, the more time you spend, the more experience you come, the more you have the confidence. But yeah, I think that's it, because unfortunately I didn't prepare much, because I'm undergoing an audit for one of my studies as well. So yeah, but I'm happy I got the opportunity.
Okay, thank you, Offense. So, with regard to the comment that you made, I think what is important for me is that there's a mentor of mine who used to say to me, "You cannot refer what you cannot defend." You
Yeah.
know, so that is something that stayed with me. That whomever that I refer, I need to be able to defend. And once I've referred you with the masterclass as a brand, remember you're carrying a baton. We have other people that we need them to get those opportunities. We want those placement partners to come back to us the following year, like they did now with Sichava, for example, because of what you guys have delivered. So you've proven to them that we are able, we are capable, and that you have the skills to take on these big responsibilities. So they have confidence in our learners. And I mean, we have now two. We're supposed to actually place three. Even last year, we're supposed to place three, but we placed two. The third one couldn't take the opportunity. Even this time, we had three that we had Sichaba took up. But then the other, I think Kilebuhele, she got another opportunity. She decided to pursue her master's in biostats, if I'm correct, with UCT. And yeah, Offense, you know what? I can say a whole lot of stuff, but I think let's now maybe turn to the audience. They probably have questions for you guys. I'm not really worried about covering the masterclass introduction, because you guys have actually already highlighted it. And the people that are joining the class, we will have our first session, which I will take you through the masterclass on the 4th of Feb. But for now, let's do question and answer, because we left with 30 minutes and I have like a hard stop at past because I have other things that I need to do. So what we can do now, let's do like a 15 minutes of questions. Let's interact with the audience. What is it that they want to know from you guys, from myself? We also have other trainers on the call, which I'll also introduce later as well. We have Rujeko, and we also have Stephen is another trainer that I saw. And you guys will see when I present who are the trainers for the masterclass later. Okay, anyone with a question? Let's start on the chat box first and see what is happening. Okay, someone says, will there be any other masterclass later in the year? Yes, we have two intakes a year. So the next one will start in July. What does masterclass offer in addition to GCP certificate? We'll show you just now. Are bursaries offered still? We do advertise our bursaries. I think the last bursaries that we offered for this current masterclass, I think we offered 3 students, but it depends on where we were. I think it was the EduVoice team. I see Lerato is also on the call. She's one of the recipients of the bursaries, or not necessarily bursaries. It's like we cover their cost, or maybe one of the trainees covers their cost or something like that, because I mean, there's still cost into this. So we do advertise. Just stick around, follow us, and maybe you'll be a lucky winner one day. And with that said, I mean, there's multiple ways to make payment for the masterclass, which we'll talk about. Let's see, any other question? Ndu, I think this one is for you. You mentioned that you were doing 2 things at the same time. What was other courses that Ndu was doing? I don't think that was referring to the course. He was basically saying was considering to study further and maybe looking for opportunities in the in clinical research industry. And I think he mentioned this because I consistently followed through with him to see what was happening, and maybe if there was some kind of wave on some availability of placement, I will inform him of those. But he was not. I was not. He was considering both sides. Okay, let's see. Any other question? Anyone that has a question? I see Lerato, is that a hand? So we have Lerato and we have Virginia. So Lerato, you can ask your question.
Can you hear me? Good evening.
Lerato, ciao, okay? Hello?
Good evening.
Good evening, how are you?
Am I audible? I'm blessed, and how are you? Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much, Dr. Nyeleti, for the wonderful opportunity to be part of this year's masterclass. And thank you to Afrileadtech as well for the opportunity. Thank you to everyone who has shared. That was so inspirational. I know as someone that wants to transition to clinical research, having no knowledge of it whatsoever, I mean, Dr. Nyeleti was speaking about the people that are puzzled when they speak with these abbreviations, and I'm like, I'm one of them. But you know what? I'm willing to learn. For the last speaker that just spoke, I wanted to understand that with lab, when it comes to clinical research, how does it work different from being at the site? Do you do actual lab work with the samples that you receive for that site, or what actually happens? Just a brief overview of what is the difference between working at a site and working in the lab. Thank you so much.
Lerato, thanks for the question. So in the positions that I was working, it's not like I was a medical technician where I was doing sample work, but I was more on the receiving end and ensuring that wherever the samples are supposed to go, they do actually go. The difference is that I'll just try to make it practical. In the lab, what you mostly work with are numbers. You don't interact with the participant. It's not patient facing. So on site, at least you are able to work with all this documentation that integrates more into a CRO. So the lab and the site, although we are in clinical research, they are still quite different. So in example, the site, you recruit the participant that are eligible to actually be enrolled in that study. And with progress, you are able to see, sometimes with eyewitness, you're able to see if the product or the vaccination or whatever that is being researched is actually working. While you go to the lab, you receive the sample of the participant that was received on site. So you don't interact with participant. You see participant as participant numbers. I'm not sure if you know what the difference is. So the difference in that is that one, you're patient facing, the other you just behind the scene. And to me, which is what it did not work, I did not want to be behind the scenes. I wanted to be in the forefront. I hope I answer your question.
Yes, you did. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ashley. So we have a question from Virginia. Or a hand up, rather.
Evening, everyone. I think from my side, it's more of a comment, and just thank you for Dr. Nyeleti, just for the platform to engage in this sort of information, having been someone who has pivoted into clinical research and has been wanting to learn more about the field. I think today we got just some snippets of the masterclass and what to expect of it. And yeah, thank you to the presenters that shared their journeys. And looking forward to joining the masterclass at some point once I sort out the fun. But thank you so much, Dr. Nyeleti. That was just a comment from my side.
Okay, thank you so much, Virginia. So I'm back on what I see on the chart. I see quick one from Resiho. Does the salary eventually recover to the people who left a full-time job? I think
it does.
Yeah.
It does. All I can say is, please don't come to clinical research when you are aiming for the money, because you are working with patients. We don't want you to find yourself at a point where you compromise on patients because you're chasing money. But I can say at the end, there is a reward to each and every work that you put in. Our journeys are different, very different. The biggest enemy is when you're gonna start comparing yourself to those you were in the class with. Because I think we were in the second cohort, and I think Ronald, Mamanga, I don't remember who else, they got the opportunity at IQVIA. Most of us were very envious because we wanted to go to those big names, IQVIA, Icon, Thermo Fisher. We all wanted ourselves there. But to each person's journey, it's going to be different. Sometimes I even say better start at site before you go to CRO, because then you will understand what you're doing there. But it doesn't invalidate the people who started at CRO that they will never get to understand what goes on at site, because eventually they do come and monitor us on site, and we still learn from each other. So the purpose of it is, don't go in with the money. Was it worth the sacrifice? Yes, for me it was, because it eventually worked out. I don't know if it had not worked out, if I would be saying the same thing. But in terms, I am fulfilled because I did what I wanted and I sacrificed, and it's paying off eventually. And I hope from here going forward, it pays even greater. I would like to see myself competing with Nyeleti at some point.
Okay, I see some of my people are also answering the question. Thank you so much for supporting. I think if your question is not answered, you think I need to elaborate more, just let me know. There's Hello asking if there are research sites in Polokwane. There are research sites in Polokwane, or maybe we can say Limpopo. What time of the year does master classes program open? I've been checking since last year. I don't know where you've been checking, Rufumelo, because one of the when the current cohort is starting on the 4th of Feb, and that's why we're also having this information session now. And all the people are supposed to register by the 25th of Jan. And I don't know if you have done the registration. And it is important to note that if you want to join the masterclass now, you're going to have some pressure because you need to have completed your GCP training. So once you sign up for a masterclass, we enroll you for a GCP training, and you need to give yourself time to understand the GCP training before you can get into the masterclass. So if you need more information, Rufumelo, on registration, you can talk to us. Send an email to info@afrileadtech.co.za. And then another question, in addition to the classes, do you offer volunteer opportunities? I don't know what you mean. I guess you mean like after completing the training, and that is, we do find partners. We are at Afrileadtech specifically, we provide a training. We work with multiple partners. We go out there and convince people to give you volunteer opportunity, internship opportunity, externship opportunities, different kind. Depends on what the organization that we're talking with is able to offer at that particular time. How much does the masterclass cost? Is 14,850. You can pay it once off. You can pay it over a 4-month period. You have to sign a client commitment form and debt agreement form when you take up the payment term. I'm a medical doctor wanting to transition to clinical trials. What opportunities are there? So I think I actually thought about it here that we should have invited some of our learners that are medical doctors, because we have had learners that are medical doctors. Some are already in the field doing clinical trials. And I think even in this current group, we're going to have some medical doctors that are joining. There are many opportunities. It depends on what you want to do. Do you have your own practice? Where are you working currently? If you have your own practice, you want to start your own site, how do we mentor you to get to a point where you start your own site? If you are just a medical doctor, but you don't have your own practice, in what area are you working, and those kind of stuff? Where can you find opportunities? And there are opportunities. There are challenges, but there are opportunities. Okay. And then Millet says, can you enroll even if you are employed full-time? Yes, we do have full-time employed people. It's just you need to commit to 6 hours of learning a week, where you go through the virtual learning platform, and you have to attend a 2-hourly weekly session via Teams like we're doing now. It's on a Wednesday from 6:30 to 8:30 every week. So we'll share like a schedule, which you need to then diarize and make sure you're available for those classes. And then anyone ventured into stats or data management after the master classes? Let's see, someone put something when I was reading. I don't know if I can find it now. That question, where is it? Sure, it's busy here. Let me see, I need to find that question. There was a question about data management of stats. Yeah, I don't think anyone. We had actually I will say we have had people from data management, but when they joined, they were already working in the data management space, and then they transition into other roles after that relates to data management. Someone is asking initiative and reach out directly to research site like Crismo, for example. That is true. You can do that. There's a question, does the masterclass guarantee an internship or an employment opportunity? No, there is no guarantee in life for anything. We're not going to lie to you, but we do what we need to do to try and find those opportunities for our learners. And there's an example of some of our learners. I'm a business development in a CRO and would like to know if there's a way to transition from there. Definitely, there's a way to transition from there. What is your background, Matlo Muloto? Why do you have a science qualification? What is your background qualification? Just tell us do I still need to do Afrileadtech GCP training? I've seen many people saying that they have done GCP training. When we check their GCP training is not accredited in South Africa. Most of you do this free GCP training that you find online, which is good. I wouldn't say it's bad, but I recommend everyone to do the Afrileadtech GCP training, even if you have done another. Anyway, when you sign up for a masterclass, the GCP training becomes you will be enrolled into GCP training. If I already have GCP R2, do I need to write the R3? Our masterclass, it's quite generic currently, and I think it does align with both R2 and R3. The R3, remember the masterclass, it's about the conduct of clinical trials. I usually tell people that how do you differentiate the masterclass from the GCP? GCP is like your learner's license. Masterclass is like your driver's license. So GCP tells you about the rules. It doesn't tell you the how, the day-to-day activities. The masterclass take you through the day-to-day activities of what happens when you're working in a clinical trial industry. You can understand the K53, but that doesn't mean you will get into the car and move a car. Okay, so that's what is important. The R3, you will need to get an R3 if you are to work in an industry. But I mean, for our learners that will join the masterclass, they will have access to both. We currently gave them access to R2, but I mean, at any time they can access R3. We give these trainings, we make them available for them. Hello, does the masterclass also cover for statistical programming? I wish I was that smart with statistical programming and biostatistics. I don't know. We don't have that at the moment, but we have spoken to. I know we need to actually follow through on the discussion with one of them, someone that is interested in content development, and she has much more background on data management. She was interested in creating a data management course there, but we're not there yet. We're not there. Okay, I like this. Hello, that's the masterclass also. You can see I like the response that has been given there by Ronald. Total cost is 14,850. What are the payment plan and options available? You can pay over 4 months. You sign an agreement when you join, and then you have to pay over 4 months. You have to sign up for the Feb if you want to join the Feb cohort by the 25th of Jan. And if you don't want to join the Feb cohort, you can join the July cohort. And then okay. Let's see, who else? Any question? I registered for masterclass yesterday. I don't have a GCP certificate. I heard you spoke about being enrolled for GCP before the masterclass. Can I get clarity? Maybe you probably the person that made payment and you didn't send us proof of payment, Samantha. What do you mean you registered for masterclass? Registration basically means that you go on our website, you create your account. You place the order. Once you place an order, you receive an invoice that informs you on how to make payment. You can then make your deposit. You can make your deposit online or also make a deposit by EFT. Once we receive your deposit amount, then we will enroll you to a GCP. So if there's anything, Samantha, that is outstanding there, send us an email at info@afrileadtech.co.za. Okay, hope I covered that. Lerato wants us to meet in person. One day is one day, Lerato. One day is one day. With the first group, we actually had a meeting in person. So the meeting is not for training purposes. If we ever meet in person, it will be for networking. So it won't be for training purposes. Training is virtual, all virtual, all virtual. We shout virtually. We don't want you to see us shouting physically. So Matlo, then definitely you can join the masterclass. It will really help you. And if you already in the industry, this is good for you. You have a BS in genetics and biochemistry, in business development, you're already in the industry. We're going to teach you how to put this into your personal development plan so that your manager can find opportunities for you in that organization. Zizo says how to register for the masterclass. I filled the form online and didn't get any response. You fill the form online. Okay, let me show you. So if you go into our platform quickly, just filling the form doesn't mean that you have completed the process. You have to. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen just to show you that. I'm sure many people are asking the same question. So this is our platform. I'm actually showing you the everything with the admin side of it. But anyway, when you log into afrileadtech.co.za, this is how you're gonna land. If you don't have an account, there will be a button which says sign in here. Then you create your account. Once you're done with that, that doesn't mean you have signed in for a masterclass. You must go to place your order. I'm sure you can see here. When you go to place your order, then you can select the course that you want to do. So this is the clinical research masterclass. Then you will add to cart, similar to your online shopping kind of a thing. If you get in here, you can then view cart. You can say you want to pay a deposit or you want to pay full amount. It's up to you. Then you say add to cart. And then once you added that, and then I'm sure it won't allow me. Let's see. Don't look at this video, guys. It needs an update. It's like other people's CVs. Yeah, once you add to carts, why is this not moving? Maybe it won't allow me because I already have the master class name. So normally after you add to cart, then you will complete your billing information. And once you complete your billing information, then we'll get an invoice. You will also get an invoice. You will also be able to, let me maybe use another training that I've not added into cart because it's the same process. So we can do it to the end. Okay, the one that I have not entered. So let's say this was the master class. You will add good clinical practice. Yeah. So can you see here? Maybe I was just moving too fast here. I have so much that has been added here. So let's take, for example, a lot is happening here for me because I just added everything. So let's say I want to do this, and this is the master class. Then it will say proceed to checkout. Then you proceed to checkout. And then it means I selected to pay over a period of 3 months here, or to due today and future payment. It will break down the amount. Then you can pay by direct transfer, or you can pay on pitch payment, which you can pay with a card, or you can use other payment platforms. Then you can complete your payment. Only after we've received your payment, then we will enroll you into the GCP and also in the master class. So I hope that works for you. That is easy for you it's easy enough for you to navigate.
Hello.
Hi, sorry, I think Nyeleti just dropped again. I'll see if she can log in again.
Hello. Hello.
Hi, Colette.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. I saw someone who commented on the comment section asking about okay, I am asking because I've got the very same question with what she asked. So I studied biochemistry and chemistry undergrad, and then I also did honors, and now I'm currently doing masters. But I am interested in this master class, but I'm not sure if I am if I'm gonna qualified for the master class.
So remember, the masterclass is just showing you what research is about and how to conduct research. So if you are interested in transitioning into research, then yes, you should sign up for the masterclass. There isn't really like a specific criteria that you need to meet in order to be admitted into the masterclass.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
So if it aligns with your career goals, you want to transition to research, then the masterclass is for you.
Mm. Okay, so other people were saying there are no contact class. I thought maybe some were mentioning that they were attending together, stuff like that. I don't know.
So when they're saying,
oh, sorry, Rijeko, that's fine.
oh, okay. So everything is virtual, guys. So you'll be doing the lessons completely online. When people were saying that they were doing it together, they were just placed in the same group.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So you will be divided into groups. So you get to know most of the people like that are in your group because you'll be working with them during the modules.
And class usually start at what time?
It's every Wednesday from 6:30.
Oh, okay. Meaning it's once a week from 6:30.
Once a week, 6:30 until 8:30. Yes.
Hi guys, can I quickly add something?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, my name is Kanya, and I was also part of the first cohort of the masterclass, and I also end up working with Vicky. But just to give you guys an overview of how the masterclass works, is that it is fully virtual. So as you guys saw, Vicky was showing you how to enroll on basically the Afrileadtech portal. So once you have enrolled and you have started the masterclass, you will have access to the masterclass portal, and that's where all the recordings or all the lessons will be loaded. So then you'll then be able to access all the lessons or the recordings and watch and listen to them. And then you will have the contact sessions weekly from, I think they mentioned from 5:30 or 6:30 to 8:30. And it's usually either on Teams and on Google Meet. And during these sessions is when you'll be going through the content that you had to go, the content from the recordings, because you'll be given an opportunity to discuss the content as well as present any work or any group assignments that you guys would have to do. And so on top of the weekly lessons as well as the recording that you have to watch, you guys, so you'll also be divided into groups where you'll be doing group work. So outside of all of that, you'll have to meet with your group members or your team members virtually to discuss your projects and your assignments. So when you do sign up for the masterclass, you need to take all of that into consideration. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Hanya. Thank you guys, because you really stand in for me. I don't know what is happening with my laptop today. It just keeps on doing whatever it needs to do. Can you hear me now?
Yes, maybe while you find your bearings, I'll just answer one other person in the chats. Somebody asked, so will we have different coordinators or assessors? So you will have different coordinators and assessors, Nyeleti being one of them. I understand Rujeko is also going to be one of them, but in our cohort, we had different assessors, all with different specialities. So a different coordinator who will take you through project management, a different coordinator who will take you through auditing and so forth. And I can see Nyeleti has the slide up now. So just to answer Lerato on that. Thanks.
Thank you very much. I think just to add into that, because we've run out of time, so we'll also present the slide on the 4th with the first class, but just meet the other trainers. We have Akanksha Jane, who is a qualified auditor, and she is based in Tanzania and also based in India. You can look her up on LinkedIn, highly experienced, and she developed one of the trainings in the master class. I don't know, Akanksha, I don't think she's online. We have Rujeko. Rujeko is on the online. Maybe she can say something. Rujeko, you can introduce yourself. You are training the study conduct module.
I already did say something.
Oh, okay.
Whilst you're offline, but it's fine.
So I was offline for quite a while. I don't know, like
yeah, I did answer a few questions.
Oh, okay. So she's one of our trainer. We have Denise Vitboy, which is like very experienced senior clinical research associate and consultant. You can also check her out on LinkedIn already. And then she does training on study monitoring. She's been in the industry for more than 15 years now. We have we have Nonso, we call him Nonso. Chukwu Nonso is based in Nigeria. He's also an experienced clinical project manager and senior clinical research associate. Nonso, I think he said is outside, currently is not able to join, but he also does training on the study initiation training. You will get to meet him. We have Lucius Malapani, who is a senior program manager with over 15 years of experience as a project manager, and she's the one who does project management. This project management has nothing to do with clinical research. And this is one of the courses that people do not anticipate or they're not really prepared for, because they think the training is about clinical research, but we throw them out of the box and show them how a clinical trial can actually be coordinated similar to a project. And this is one of the most complicated modules. And we have Stephen. Stephen, are you on the call? Stephen is based in Ghana with more than 15 years of clinical trial experience, and he has an MSc in clinical research. Stephen, are you there? He was online earlier on. Okay, but you're going to meet all these trainers. And then let's see who else. We also had additional support. We also work with Limakasho, and depending on the number of mentorships that we have, we will also contract and work with and refer some of the mentors or mentees to her. And then she then also coordinates some of the mentorship one-on-one sessions that we do with the learners. And then we have Siano King, who also support us with the social media and digital marketing. And we have Langu and Andani. They will be supporting with admin and billing support. Andani is also going to be joining the masterclass because she's also a graduate as well that came to us looking for a volunteering position at Komanani Health Research Center. And we said she can actually join us and at this moment also take up the masterclass. So I'm not, when they're referring to Dr. Biki, I'm not the only one who's doing this. I'm doing it with a team. It's just that maybe I'm the face of the organization. So I don't take credit for all the hard work. I actually say I couldn't do it alone. I need a team to do it. So guys, I'm not going to go through the masterclass itself. So for those that are going to join, we'll present the content, the course overview next week. But what I can do for those that are interested, even if you're not joining, maybe we'll extend the invitation to you so that because that class on the 4th will just be introducing the current masterclass learners and then the course overview, but we can extend invitation to those that are interested to learn more about the course overview. But after that, we will not be able to invite you in any of our sessions. So that is all from me. Any other question that we didn't address? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we can.
Oh, I was a bit worried there. So let me check. Any other question? Can we close the session?
Vicky, there's a question asking if they have to pay by the 25th.
The deposit, if you are unable to make the 25th, reach out to us. We're not very terrible. You are saying, Lerato, may we kindly go to the first slide of trainers? What do you mean? Like, I must go back to here?
Your slide is where you're introducing the trainers, just the first page.
This one?
You're not showing the screen.
I'm not sharing my screen now. Okay. This one.
Thank you so much.
Okay. You will receive the slides after the 4th.
I wanted to start networking. Thank you.
Huh?
Thank you. I was saying I wanted to start networking. Thank you.
Oh, okay. If you have
Hi,
Afrileadtech already, you don't need to redo it with the masterclass. I see this question coming back again. Someone else said, hi, Nyeleti. I didn't pick up who that was.
Oh, I wanted to ask if I want to join around July, when should I register? I want to prepare myself financially and to also check if my degree is related to clinical research because I don't want to do something that will end up not working for me.
What is your degree?
I did BSc in chemistry and biochemistry, and now I'm doing masters in chemistry.
Highly relevant. I did also my BSc, it was in biochemistry.
Okay. And then to answer a question of if I want to start around July, when should I prepare?
I think we usually will start advertise 3 months before. So if you already create your account on our platform, creating an account doesn't mean you are signing up. So if you create your account when we have new courses and upcoming courses and stuff, we'll share with you.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you can also follow us on LinkedIn. Someone asked, this is recognized internationally. I don't know, Andy, are you still there? What do you mean recognized internationally? Elaborate for us. If you're still there.
Vicky, I think I'm assuming they're asking if it's accredited.
Oh, yeah.
No, but recognized and accredited is two different things because there's no body in who I can say they are the designated accreditator of clinical trials material. So it's quite different. That's why I want to know from them, what do they mean? I want context in order for me to respond. Are you there, Andy? So the masterclass, it's what do I call it here? It is a program that is built to help people develop essential skills and prepare them to stand out in the competitive field of clinical research. It's a skills development program. I don't know Yeah, if I want it to be international recognized, what actually does it mean? I think it's a good question. Just don't know how to answer it. Okay. Duration of the masterclass, I think we already touched on that. Any question, guys? Can we end the meeting? We'll send the Q&A as well. If you're happy for us to end the meeting, just show with your thumbs up. Right. Thank you. I'm going to end the meeting now. We'll share the recording with you. I hope it's not very bad where I got cut off. I'll also try to listen to it first. All right, thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye, Vicky. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.